Well, it's the first part of March, and you might be able to tell that if you hear a little wind blowing in here, because it's typical March. It's breezy. But anyway, it's first March, and I don't know what that means to you at your place or at your home, but what that means to me here is I'm gonna have to get my honey and busy. Wind. Ding, 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 ding. That's what that is. But anyway, the grass is starting to grow. The pasture's starting to green up. So I've only got a few weeks till I'll be turning cattle loose on the pastures on the farm. Well, I got about 2 miles or so of fence, perimeter fence, that's in the woods, or along the edge of the woods. And that means I've got to check every foot of that fence and repair. I mean, do whatever repairs might be necessary. And if you've got a fence and you've got trees, you'll find that trees can be vindictive. They can be downright mean, as a matter of fact. They just seem to get great joy in dropping a limb or just downright falling over with laughter. I mean, they just get so tickled at the situation. Some of them just fall right over on your fence. Yeah, that's got to be what they're doing, because, I mean, it's got to be deliberate. There's just too much of it. It can't be an accident. I mean, they got to be falling over those fences and dropping limbs on your fences on purpose. They just don't take a liking to you or something. But anyway, I got to go. I've been at it. I've been at it for a few days. Goodness gracious! When I first get started, I start right here at the house, just right across the driveway, and that's one of the corners for the pastures. That's not the property boundary, but it's pasture boundary. I mean, it goes up along the edge of the woods, a piece of woods that I just don't hardly ever get into at all. I leave it as sort of a sanctuary for the deer. But anyway, started right there. Now, I didn't go 10 feet till I had the first ones down. 2 of them there. Luckily, they weren't all that big, and it didn't take too terribly long to clean those up, but I've worked so far. I've got about 200 yards of fence checked out and repaired. Trees cut and fence repaired. That's as far as I've got. And I've got about 2 miles to go. Heavens to Betsy, I just hope that those first 200 yards is no indication of what I'm going to have in the next 2 miles. That first 200 yards is wore this old man out. It's been kind of rough. But anyway, it's that time of year. Going to have to do it whether you want to or not. I mean, if you're going to run cattle, you got to have good fences, because when you put cattle in, first put cattle in on a new piece of property. What they're going to do, they're going to hit and they're going to meander around and they're going to walk virtually every inch of that fence line, those fence lines. They're going to check it out. And if you've got a break in it, they're gone. But if you can keep them up the first few days and they get used to the pastures and where they got the good feed and stuff, where they got some easy woods to get into to get out of the sun and for leisure time, you won't generally have much problem. But those first few days in particular, you got to have good fence because they will. They'll test it. They'll test it. So, but you can go around and spend, like I said, I spend a good part of March checking out and repairing fences, making sure that come April when you bring in the cattle, that most likely they're going to stay here. But it can be a chore sometimes. But anyway, you get it all done. And the day or so before you actually bring the cattle, you take one more time and you walk every stitch of it. You walk every inch of it again, because about the time you turn your back, well, one of them vindictive old trees is liable to just, you think I got it all done. And you head back to the house, kerplunk. One will take it, well, I'll show him. Down he goes, and down goes your fence with it. But anyway, that's what we're doing now. We're getting ready for cattle, working on fence, and I'll show just a little bit of a section of fence up here, about 30 yards. Darn tree that the fence is attached to fell over, took out, or just pretty much destroyed about 30-yard section of fence right there. And so you got to take up the wire, you got to take up the post, you got to do it's a lot of work. It took about 3 hours total to fix that 30-yard section of fence. And when I got back home, my feet was hurting for standing on the side of that hill so long. But anyway, that's what's coming up. And I hope you get more fun out of watching it than I did out of doing it. Because to be honest with you, it's just not a lot of fun. But anyway, we got to do it, so I'll get back at it here in just a minute. I go up and pick up where I left off yesterday and start another section. But I probably won't video any more of you. I'll spare you that. So I did run a little bit of video of fixing that one little section. And like I said, hope you get a bigger kick out of watching it than I did out of doing it. Talk soon. Do a little bit of fence repair. You know how much fun that is. Darn birds pooping all over. What in the world? Let me look here in the van. Make sure I don't have it in it. Might need a hammer and a chainsaw. You go help me.
Well, okay.
Okay. Okay. Yep, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Go up here and get started on this mess. Need my hiking poles. Get up through here, it's steep. I got a old section of fence here. It's got to be rebuilt. And that's a natural fact. Let's see. Okay. Gotta take all these wires loose. On several of these poles. on, Dirk. Good fella. This section of tree right here, tree has fallen, and there's a fence attached to it. So it's taken, I don't know, about 30 yards fence out with it. And I'm having to rebuild this whole section of fence. Now I gotta cut the tree out of the way. And of course, they never fall good. But there you go. I dropped my glove. They're trying to run away from home. Good grief. Dirt hillsides are steep. Couple of staples here. Well, this one 30-yard section of fence is totally rebuilt. It weren't easy either, but it's done now. Now I just got to go back. Pick up right here where I'm leaving this off and going on up the mountain and checking more damage and fix what I find. Yeah, these fences can sure be a lot of fun, but at least this section's done. up and see if I can find any more staples. And I'm pretty near out. I don't really believe there's any in here, but I'm gonna look anyway. Go check quickly. I don't think there's any out there either. Got a few things in here. I don't think it's any staples. Nope. No staples here in the Quigley, so I certainly don't have. There are many in my repair bucket, so I don't know how much work I'm gonna get done today before I gotta go Tractor Supply or somewhere. Now the work begins again. Oh, gracious. Yeah. Glory be. I drove the tractor up here, parked it right here, and I brought all my tools up in the bucket on it. 'Cause I knew I was gonna have a major repairs right over there. So parked the tractor here, made the repairs right over there, and then I started walking the fence. And a couple of miles later, and many hours later, I'm happy to report, whew, Lordy mercy, I'm done. At least until a day or so before I bring the cattle up, and I'll walk the fence again and double check everything. But I said I wasn't going to video any more fence mending, and I didn't. I didn't video any of it. But I am happy to report. I'm sure it doesn't matter to any of you, but it matters a whole lot to me. Oh, one more year. I've got that blasted job of putting the fence back in shape. Man, that's a job. And I'm going to tell you, where it had been so wet and rainy for a while, boy, these steep hills, particularly the north-facing ridges, they're steep, they're slick. Then you're down on all fours, trying just to hang on. You really almost needed mountain climbing gear to get around there today. But anyway, it's done, and I can honestly say that my rear end is dragging my tracks out. but it's done, at least for a while. Thank the Lord. Back to the house, rest a little bit, get something to drink. Oh, knees stiff. One last little thing I gotta do. I gotta go up here, get my chainsaw that I left laying up there this morning. Gracious. Gracious. Steep. We're done. Go back to the house. Steep. That's that four-wheel drive tractor. You'd never get up here. Two-wheel drive never make it over past this point. It requires four-wheel drive. up now. On the house and see that. We go check on that good-looking woman. She's been out helping a friend today. See, she just got home. There she is. Heck, she's getting in the car. She may have took one look at me and decided to leave home. Rightly know where she's what she's doing. I sure hope she ain't running away from home. You ain't running away from home, are you?
You weren't here, I was at school leave.
Do what?
You weren't here last night, I'd leave. I dropped you some groceries and took off.
You brought me some groceries, did you? Okay.
I brought you some hazy IPAs.
Oh, Lord, did you? We'll go over and drink one of them right now.
I'm just going to pull them.
Okay. My dress is aching.
I'll bet it is.
Okay, hurry up. Huh?
How far did you get?
Done.
Done?
Done.
Yay!
I'm done.
Now you can rest.
I can go fishing now. Oh. Well, at least she wasn't running off from home. After 60 years, she might be getting tired. Let's start looking for new territory. Hey, old stick, you didn't help a lick, did you, huh? You didn't help a lick, did you? Not one iota. You did not. Yeah, here she comes. Now you tell me that ain't a good-looking woman. How many 80-year-old women you know look like that? Probably none.
Hi, Dennis.
Oh, sweetie.
When did you get home?
I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to go check it, walk around, check it one day just before we bring the kettle. But it's done. It's been a long, hard day.
Sure, I know.
But it's
baby.
done.
I'm happy for you, baby.
You know what? I'm happy for me too. Talk soon.
That's